We're hoping also to increase transparency. So we're going to be doing quarterly reports so that everyone can see sort of a breakdown of where the SULS, how the money's being spent and the expenditure. We're also going to be looking at alternatives for our current ticket sales system, QPay, just to try to lower transaction fees. And so basically, as part of the Treasury Committee, we'll be looking at all of those things and working together, helping to monitor each portfolio's budgeting and updating their budgets rather, and their spending, and keeping records, looking more on a strategic level at the implementation of the investment project that's been in the works for a couple of years now. And yeah, so basically, we're looking for anyone who works well within a team, but can also work individually, who has an interest in Treasury, who has high attention to detail is preferred, but by no means do you need to have a finance or a commerce background. So same goes here. Send me an email with your resume and cover letter, and I look forward to getting to know you all.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophia. I'm the campus director for this year. I'm a third year LLB now, and my other degree is economics. So we're looking for 2 representatives for each cohort to represent their year group basically. So the way that the campus committee runs is a little bit different in terms of the process to apply, in that it's the same that you would send your CV through and your cover letter through to me, but there is an election, so your cohort will vote on who will represent them. So what we're looking for in terms of a campus committee and the criteria and who should really be applying for this is really people who are quite enthusiastic and keen. And some of the things that you would be doing as part of the committee are organising and running events. So the events that we run are quite wide ranging. So that goes from social style events like welcome back drinks all the way to Wellbeing Week and into cohort mentoring, which is one of our new events this year. So it's quite a wide reach of things that you would be doing in terms of events. But it's also about representing and advocating on behalf of your cohort. So that means making sure that you're an approachable and someone who is willing to listen if people are talking to you, and as well as willing to speak up on behalf of your cohort. So that's some of the really important things that you're going to be doing, and some of the things that we really care about. So our vision in terms of the campus portfolio is really to be representing each year group and representing people's concerns, as well as trying to support people's well-being as much as possible, because particularly with this hybrid environment, it's quite difficult for everyone to stay connected. So that's something we're going to really be striving towards through having online events as well as in person. I think someone in the chat asked about if you're offshore, whether you're able to apply. So you're definitely able to apply for campus because there is obviously a lot of people who are still remote, and it would be great to be able to have voices from people who are remote, because that's the exact sort of representation that we do need. So yeah, make sure you're also highly organised, have an interest in student welfare, and it would be great when you send in your CV and cover letter, that if you can also include an idea for an event for the campus portfolio to run this year, why you would be suitable for the role, and why you would like to take on the role to be a representative and campus committee member. And feel free to send any questions to me or message it in the chat, and send all of that to my email. I think the next person is Calvin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Calvin, and I'm the Sports and Wellbeing Director and also the head of merch for SULS. So with the sports and wellbeing side, I'm going to have a committee there where we'll be organising sporting events. So the traditional ones, such as coordinating teams for Interfac, and also having or organising other intervarsity events with UTS, so that we can have a competitive game against each other. And also for the wellbeing side, we'll be working a lot with Sophia and the campus representatives in organizing Wellbeing Week and also initiatives regarding that. So right now it's looking like we're going to be doing nutrition talks, hopefully therapause in like semester 2, and new ideas and events surrounding that. So that's also a really good way to get involved, because this is a new part of the committee where you get to kind of shape your ideas on how you want SULS to work with wellbeing. And especially because it's so innovative, you have a lot more control and with your ideas and like take that forward. And with the merchandise side, pretty much it's kind of like helping me run our store, both physical and online. So doing stock take, posting, liaising with suppliers, and also like designing new merch and ideas. And similar to previous, it's kind of very new in how we can do merch. Pretty much you can do whatever you want, design whatever you want, and we can try and make that into reality. And to apply, it's very simple, like everyone else. Please email me your cover letter outlining like your experience, why you want to do whatever you want to do, and also your vision for the relevant portfolio, and also your CV. And yeah, I'll pass it on now to Justin, who's our publications director.
Hey everyone, my name is Justin. I'm the publications director for 2021. I'm currently in my 3rd year of an arts law degree, studying in ancient history. So with respect to the publications portfolio, it essentially serves as the way in which we platform and diversify and present the student writing voice. There are tons of different writing opportunities which are present and available, as you can see. But an important thing to note is that a lot of the writing opportunities coincide and overlap with a lot of different portfolios within the SULS body. So for example, we have an existing series of publications with social justice and equity. We have ones with the women's, queer and ethnocultural portfolios. And so writing opportunities are very consistent and appear significantly throughout the year. So remember to stay tuned, not only just in what I'm telling you guys, but also in a lot of what other portfolios are going to be talking about. So with respect to the things which are available as of right now, in terms of the vision that we want to have for the publications portfolio, indeed, as well as the subcommittees this year, a big goal of it is to look relatively inwards and explore some of the issues which are affecting law students, and looking at the ways in which we can offer advice and support to lots of students who, for example, may be looking and seeking advice in certain fields and areas. So a big goal for us would not only be to, as per the general goals of the publications portfolios, to, be really prominent, be really kind of open on social media, have like strong and very consistent readership, but also look to provide very useful information about the student experience in a way which is really productive and helpful. So if you feel like you were in accord with that kind of mission statement and or like, goal for the year, then, please feel free to look at the opportunities we have as here. So the first sort of opportunity and opening that we have is the Law and Society Editorial Committee. We're looking for 1 editor-in-chief and 3 to 4 editors. Law and Society is our publication which is dedicated to looking at, as the topic suggests, the presence of law in contemporary society and the ways in which that has particular ramifications on people and or other areas of society, for example, like the government, or the ways in which corporations exist and things such as that. This is a role which would require good amounts of writing experience and things, for example, that demonstrate an ability to keep on top of deadlines, be really active in working and connecting close with faculty and so forth. So if you think that you are someone who demonstrates these qualities, we would highly recommend you sending a cover letter detailing and demonstrating that experience, as well as a CV to my email at publications@suls.org.au. The next ones that we have are slightly less conventional means of sort of demonstrating the student voice. So the first one is our podcast. So our podcast, the SULS podcast, is called Footnotes, and we're looking this year for a production team of 1 executive producer and 6 to 7 producers. The podcast typically looks at really interesting and intersectional areas of the law, areas where which benefit the medium from which is from which podcast tends to succeed. So like conversing with like, people, discussing at length certain particularly interesting topics. If you feel like you're someone who has a really investigative and or journalistic mind, who likes to research, edit, but maybe even particularly be the front of the podcast, talking to interviews, things like that. Follow the link in the document itself to follow a Google form and sign up. We'll be posting the link again on social media just to remind you all that applications will be closing soon. So I would encourage you, if you feel like you're accepting, if you sort of align with this kind of idea or vision of publications, to apply there. And the last thing that we have is the digital content team. These we're looking for 2 to 3 editors of citations, which is the SULS blog. We're looking for people who are really passionate and engaged in digital reach, and looking at the ways in which we can present really interesting and or like sort of like offbeat and miscellaneous ideas and writing pieces about the law. So for example, if you're really good and or someone who is really passionate about helping students bring to life pieces, for example, even going in a more creative direction, this year we're looking to amplify more creative, more visually aligned ideas and pieces from students. So if you feel like you definitely accord with that and you have a good amount of experience on digital spaces, please feel free to apply in the same fashion with the link below. I will now pass on to Sissy, who is our international officer.
Hi, my name is Sissy Chen. I am now a JD3 student. So this year we're looking for 6 to 8 subcom members to help me basically organize events that are dedicated to supporting international students. If you are passionate and informed about the current issues faced by your fellow student here in Sydney Law School, please consider joining us. You'll mainly be helping hosting our Saturday Zoom catch-ups on the topic of your choice. For example, visa pathways, job hunting, CV writing, how to do a job interview. Otherwise, sometimes you'll be chairing an in-person networking event that will connect students with faculty members or legal professionals. We will give priority to students with experience in handling trauma and students who have done your mental health first aid training, but this kind of experience is not strictly necessary. To sign up, please send me a copy of your CV and write a little bit about yourself, and then I'll get in touch with you and we can sit down and have a chat. All right, I'm now moving to pass this to our women's officer.
Thanks, Sissy. Hi, everyone. Firstly, thank you all for being here. My name is Nora and I'm a 3rd year law and arts student. As the SULS Women's Officer, I advocate on behalf of female students in the law school and facilitate meaningful opportunities that are designed to essentially cultivate an equal, vibrant and supportive environment at USyd. I'm currently looking for 6 to 7 female students with a minimum of 1 LLB and 1 JD student who are passionate about promoting a legal sphere that essentially celebrates, represents and advocates for every single woman. From organising and promoting different events such as the InterVarsity Women in Law Conference, which is combined with UTS and UNSW, to creatively engaging students through social media, this role requires a genuine passion and a commitment to women's wellbeing and advocacy. So applicants must also be very organised and reliable because this is a year-long commitment. They must display strong communication skills and leadership as you'll be liaising with legal professionals and engaging with other students. And you must be able to work both independently and also as a team. So this year, I'm really hoping to foster a strong sisterhood that connects and reflects us all. So regardless of where you're studying from or what stage you are in your law degree, if the vision of the women's portfolio resonates with you, then this is the perfect initiative to truly make a positive impact. And if you would love to be involved with the women's portfolio, there's a link to apply on the document. But if you have any additional suggestions or you just want to have a chat, you're more than welcome to reach out, women@suls.org.au, and I'm really excited to work with you all. So thank you. I will now pass it on to Brew, the queer officer.
Thank you, Nora. Thank you everyone for being here. My name is Brew. I'm in my second year of the JD program, and I'm the queer officer this year. And my main goal is to develop a sense of community amongst the queer students at Sydney Law. And what I'm looking for in queer committee members are people who represent the entirety of the queer experience. I can only represent my own and try and represent other students. So I'm looking for international queer students. I'm looking for queer students who are studying remotely. I'm looking for queer students of color. I'm looking for queer, non-binary, and trans students. I'm looking for all queer identified students to apply. And what you'll be responsible for doing is helping me run the events that I have on board, which is the Pride Moot together with UTS and UNSW, queer networking event together with UTS and UNSW, a panel event with Nora and the ethnocultural team and the First Nations team, and a weekly queer study and social event. I'm also interested in your ideas for events, particularly for students studying remotely. If you'd like to apply, I'm just going to pop the application form in the chat now. It's also in the document, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. And I'm just going to pass on to Mahmoud for the ethnocultural portfolio.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here so late. So my name is Mahmoud Arafai. I'm currently in my third year of a Bachelor of Commerce and a Bachelor of Laws, majoring in finance. And I'm the ethnocultural officer, and I have the immense privilege of advocating on behalf of the people of color and culturally and linguistically diverse communities who make up our wonderful law school. So I'll be very brief. The ethnocultural portfolio has an amazing journal called Mosaic, which the amazing Gretel has just secured Clayton to sponsorship for. So exciting times. And what Mosaic basically is, it's a incredibly colorful publication that features articles, art, and communication from people of diverse backgrounds in the legal profession and other industry. And it has an incredible critical and legal and social flair that aims to celebrate the diverse perspectives of the SULS student body. And again, beyond academic and legal writing, and I really like to stress this, there's an amazing, beautiful storytelling appeal to this journal that the portfolio is very proud of. And so we're looking for one editor-in-chief and 4 editors. Naturally, the editor-in-chief should possess exceptional publication experience. However, in editors, previous editing writing experience is desirable, but not entirely necessary. So if you have strong vision, if you have amazing ideas for the journal, if you have excellent written and communication skills, and if you have a genuine interest in multicultural affairs, storytelling, diversity, social justice, and law reform, do not hesitate to apply. And if you do have previous publication experience, please attach it along with a CV and a cover letter of maximum 1 page in your email application. And the portfolio, apart from Mosaic, is running a fair bit of events. There's a little bit of expansion going on. We have a Clayton Utz ethnocultural careers panel. We have a leadership panel sponsored by Allens. There is an awesome new arts initiative going to be initiated this year. And I believe that there's a law reform task force in the works with Professor Louis Spanku and Professor Simon Rice. And again, what I'm looking for is passion for advocacy, multicultural affairs, diversity, and social justice. Same thing with the Mosaic Editorial Journal. This is a year-long commitment, so you should be able to attend regular scheduled meetings. I'm also looking for cultural competence, communication skills, time management skills, and the ability to meet deadlines. Again, I completely understand. I'm not looking for a stellar CV. I'm just looking for passion and ability to provide really awesome advocacy for students of color. So again, apply to the email with a CV and a cover letter of maximum 1 page, addressing the above criteria. And yeah, I look forward to reading all your applications and all the best of your studies. I'll leave it off to the wonderful First Nations officer, Nathan.
We might just skip to marketing for now and circle back. So Sarah, you're on. I might just speak in Sarah's behalf. So Sarah is our wonderful marketing director. She's a third year student, fourth year student, my apologies, studying commerce and doing the LLB program. In terms of what Sarah does, she is kind of how you all find out about SULS's wonderful programs. She is looking for 4 to 5 members. If you have experience with social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, that would be fantastic, but that is definitely not required. Sarah will be running workshops as well, and she can train you up on those platforms and also through other skills such as coding, website design, organic advertising, and videography. So yeah, please send her a cover letter and a CV. If you have other marketing experience, also make that known to her, and she can be contacted at admin@suls.org.au. So that's the marketing committee. Sarah also looks after the photography committee. So in pre-COVID times, we would have many, many wonderful in-person events. And we love to capture all of those memories. And the way we do that is through students who are on the photography committee. SULS has kind of cameras available, so that's not equipment you need to bring yourself. Although if you would like to use your own equipment, of course, feel free to. If you do have photography experience, that is highly desirable, and photo editing experience. But again, that is something that Sarah is more than happy to kind of teach you along the way. And I guess in terms of applying, a similar thing, cover letter, CV, and if you have any photography experience, attach those photos as well. So we might just jump to design now.
Hey everyone, I'm Arisa. I am a second year LLB student combined with commerce and also the SULS design director. So the design committee is a great place for creative like-minded law students. I actually started off in first year, last year, as within the design committee, and would really recommend it and encourage people to apply. Given SULS is like such a large society, design is also a very large portfolio and there's a high volume of work to do. But with like all the fun and exciting events that we run, there comes the opportunity to work with some like really cool visual works as well. Like the publications that we saw on screen at the start of the presentation, that's all done by the design committee, as well as all the Facebook banners and Instagram content is also created by us. So there's a lot of opportunities to really express yourself creatively and assist across all the SULS portfolios. My vision for this year for the design portfolio is to let SULS kind of branch out more and like step out of the box creatively and push design into a more creative and artistic place. And I want to do this through experimenting with more interesting mediums, things like videos and animations and unique illustrations to accompany social media posts and publications. So who are we looking for? First and foremost for the design committee, I'd love someone who is creative, people who understand design, how things visually work together, understand colors and shapes, and people who really enjoy things like this. Secondly, it's really important for people to be dedicated and be able to meet tight deadlines. Like I mentioned before, design can be a very demanding role, but also very fulfilling because you do get to have a physical and lasting product at the end of it. The last thing I'm sort of looking for is a working knowledge of the Adobe suite, and any sort of previous experience in a position like this is favorable, but not necessary by any means. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, or this sounds like you, I would highly recommend you apply. And my email is in the document, and I'd love to see your body of work and your vision for the role. So I guess passing back to Wendy now.
Thank you. Nathan, I'm not sure if you're on the call.
Yeah.
Great, go for it.
Sure. Look, First Nations Committee, we've got a very important portfolio. Indigenous members of the faculty have been underrepresented for way too long. I'm looking for people to try and get involved. We can work collaboratively to try and find some panels to put together, as well as some opportunities for all First Nations people to try and find employment opportunities and work with other portfolios such as the Social Justice Committee, so that there's a lot of crossover. So please reach out. I'm there for you guys, and if you can email me very quickly or as soon as possible, that'd be great. And I'd love to hear from you. Bye. Back to Wendy.
Great, thank you so much. So that kind of wraps up a quick introduction and overview of each committee position. I'll now switch back to the application deadline slide. Reshare my screen. And I'll now pass on to Sinem, / if anyone would like to ask questions over audio or would like to unmute themselves, feel free. We might just spend another 5 minutes kind of with Q&A.
Okay, Arisa, do you want to try and go for Jane's question about whether there's a little bit more elaboration on the differences between design committee and the marketing committee?
Yeah, sure. So the main difference here is that the marketing committee more deals with sort of like strategy and maintaining the social media presence itself, versus the design committee, we are a little bit more behind the scenes. We're creating the actual content. So we'll be creating the sort of banners and Instagram content, and then we pass it off to the marketing committee and they put it up, and they're posting it and making sure that it's used like that. As well, in the design committee, we also manage things like publications, which is separate from marketing, which is done in conjunction, obviously, with the publications director and portfolio.
Cool. One other thing I'll note is that these committee application deadlines are kind of just a guideline. As you noted from competitions, they have their own application deadlines. The campus representatives have their own process. So if you are interested in those positions, make sure you kind of thoroughly read those specifics. Does anyone else have questions?
I might go through, just quickly recap the questions that were asked.
Yeah.
The intro to committees document is in the chat now. If someone can maybe try and oh yeah, it's right there. Anna's posted it. And also you can apply to multiple committees. That's totally fine. And another one is you don't have to be onshore. So you can be remote to apply for these positions.
Wonderful. And of course, feel free to email any of us, the SULS Facebook page, or pop into the office if you have further questions. Just to kind of give a highlights reel of what else is happening this week with Welcome Fest. So tomorrow evening, we have the SULS speed friending. So if you are a remote student, would highly encourage you to attend that. And we also have our JD1 welcome drinks and welcome party on Thursday evening. So if you're available and around, do come along, meet your peers, say hi to us, and learn a little bit more about SULS. And of course, this is being recorded and we will make it available on the SULS YouTube page in a few days' time for review. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and hope to see some of your applications, and very excited for some of you to be joining us. Yeah, have a great evening.